So Hare Krishna devotee. We shall proceed with Srimad Bhagavatam class. I will quickly share my screen. All right, I hope the shloka is visible. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. यस्य क्षणवियोगेन लोको हि अप्रियदर्शनः उक्थेन रहितो हि एषः मृतकः प्रयोच्यते यथः word by word meaning. Yasya, whose kshana, a moment, viyogena, by separation, loka, all universes, he certainly, apriya darshanaha, everything appears unfavorable, uktena, by life, rahita, being devoid of, he certainly, isha, all these bodies, mrittakaha, dead bodies, prochate, are designated, yatha, as it were. Translation purport by His Divine Grace S. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I have just lost him, whose separation for a moment would render all universes unfavorable and void, like bodies without life. But factually, for a living being, there is no one dearer than Lord. The Lord expands himself by innumerable parts and parcels as Swamsha and Vibhinamsha. Paramatma is Swamsha part of the Lord, whereas Vibhinamsha parts are the living beings. As the living being is important factor in the material body, for without the living being, the material body has no value. Similarly, without Paramatma, the living being has no status quo. Similarly, Brahman or Paramatma has no locus standi without the Supreme Lord Krishna. This is thoroughly explained in the Bhagavad Gita. They are all interlinked with one another or interdependent factors. Thus, in the ultimate source, the Lord is summum bonum and therefore the vital principles of everything. Umagyanatmirindasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam sthapitam yena bhutale स्वयं रूप कदामयं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवंश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं भंगं लंघयते गिरिं वंदे श्री गुरुदीनतारणं ब्रह्मानन्दमाधवं। Hare Krishna. So Hare Krishna, all the devotees. Today's topic is about the separation which Arjuna is feeling for Krishna. So as we study in the translation and purport given by Srila Prabhupada, we get to understand that how Arjuna is feeling this separation because Lord Krishna is already disappeared. And in Prabhupada, and in the purport, Prabhupada is mentioning, factually for a living being, there is no one dearer than Lord. So I was reading this line a couple of times. It was making some impact because this is something which is mentioned here, which we either do not believe or we do not realize. Probably I can say we know it, but we do not realize it. So Prabhupada is writing, factually for a living being, there is no one dearer than the Lord. So this is the point. If we understand thoroughly, then we can understand, how Arjuna was feeling at that point of time when Krishna was not there with him. And we also see that Arjuna and all the Pandavas and their mother Kunti, Maharani Kunti Devi was very, very pious. And that is what she was also making a prayer that, I would want miseries in my life because that is the way Krishna can be with me. So that was the importance of Krishna being with the Pandavas. We see that when Krishna was with the Pandavas in the forest, also their life was very, very nice, right? In the Gyatwas or in the forest, because Krishna was there, all the sages used to visit and they used to, relish the devotional service being in the association of Lord Sri Krishna. So that is the, that's the wealth of a devotee when they are surrounded with Krishna and Guru and Krishna's, devotees. So then things become very beautiful. Sometimes we may feel that, devotees are more important than Krishna. And we realize this, like when we go to some temple and the temple has got no devotees. So even though the temple is very opulent, like sometimes when we go to book distribution and we realize that, the temple is very, very nicely built, but the devotion, that bhakti bhava is missing. And they don't allow singing kirtans or they don't allow dancing in front of the Lord. Nothing is allowed because they feel that, they want to maintain silence and they want to maintain peace. But that doesn't give joy to the Lord, and that doesn't give the joy to the devotees also, right? So when we go to a temple where devotees are not there, so we feel okay seeing the Lord. But just imagine if a lot of devotees gather there and they start doing kirtan and they start dancing, singing for the glories of the Lord. Like earlier when we used to go on one day yatra with Srivas Prabhu and other devotees, and then the way they used to sing the kirtan right from the bus till the time they reach the Garbhagudi in the mic and speaker. So it was very amazing, and they used to dance. And I remember in one of the yatra I had gone in Mysore, in Sri Rangana Swami temple. So there were a lot of brahmacharis, and they entered the temple, and then in front of the Lord there is a place where sometimes people sit. So that time the securities allowed these devotees to dance in front of Ranganath Swami, and that scene was such amazing that it is still fresh in my memories. And that darshan of Sri Ranganath Swami was so wonderful because those devotees who were singing the glories, watching, Ranganath Swami lying right in front of them. And looks like, even Ranganath Swami was enjoying that bliss, that vision of the devotees when they were singing and looking at the Lord and trying to please the Lord. And everybody was also astonished, and that moment was wonderful. So the point I was trying to make is that, when we have temple, it is okay, but when we have devotees in the temple and when we have bhakti flowing in full flow, then the place becomes so blissful. Doesn't matter whether the place is in America or places in Africa or places in Germany or China. Doesn't matter until unless we have devotees and the Krishna present with the help of Guru, we can understand the Lord and we can serve the Guru, we can serve the devotees, and we can relish the devotional service. Arjuna was feeling this separation, and here Prabhupada is also mentioning that there is no one who is dearer than the Lord. Sometimes we think that we have so many people who are dear to us, and we work accordingly, right? We might say that Krishna is dearer to us and we love Krishna, but our actions doesn't speak the same language. They say action speaks louder than the words. So I might say I love Krishna and Krishna is everything for me. But if I do not live my life, in that same manner, then it is like just making some false statement and cheating people, cheating myself. So if we really love Krishna, then we have to live in that manner, and we can understand this word love. Everybody is expert, after watching Bollywood movies, everybody is expert in this term love. And the love meaning which is there in the world today, it is actually a kind of sense gratification where people, a girl is looking for a very handsome boy who has got very nice physique, and who is very cool all the time, who can crack jokes and make them laugh. So this is not the love actually, they are only looking for, somebody who is very attractive. Why? Because when they go to their relatives' functions or when they go out, they would want some compliments from people saying that, oh, you have a very nice spouse. He looks so handsome. And the same applies to the boys also. They also look for the girl who is very, very pretty, very beautiful, and then speaks very fluently and talks softly and a lot of other quality. Why? It is not because they want to love somebody like that. It is because they want to benefit out of them, and that is why they are seeking such people. So you see that the entire meaning of love is cheating in the current generation, which is happening. So that is not the love. And what we are doing, we are also falling into the same trap and doing things which clearly says that we don't love Krishna. So if we love Krishna, what can we do? When we are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, so this chanting will become very, very blissful when we are in love with Krishna because we are taking someone's name whom we love, right? We can understand from our examples. If you love somebody and you take the name of that person, you become very happy, right? So if you are taking the name of Krishna with unhappiness, thinking that, oh, I have to chant because somebody has told me, then it means that we don't love Krishna. But here Prabhupada is saying that, nobody is dearer than the Lord. And Prabhupada gives this example that, Krishna comes with us in the form of Paramatma and he goes in all the bodies with us. Remember, he is the one who is always with us all the time, never leaves us alone. If Krishna leaves the body, even if the soul is there, the body is of no use. It will not function. Like we see the example of, in the Garbhodak, when the Garbhodakshay Vishnu enters enters this Brahman, only then the creation starts. Otherwise, the creation won't happen. So until unless Krishna is not present in the creation, Krishna is not present in the human body, then the body will not function at all. It will not work. So we are getting a lot of things from Krishna if we sit and realize, if we just see our body properly, and if we read, even the Jada Vidya talks about it. I was teaching my children about photosynthesis process couple of days back. So the photosynthesis process also, if you study, definitely you will fall in love with Krishna. The way Lord has designed his creation, how a plant is getting its food and how a plant is also storing the food, for the difficult times. Some plants store food in their roots. Some plants store food, in the stem, like we have sugarcane, and we have potato example, which is storing the food in the roots. So similarly, you see that the creation of Lord is so wonderful that the plant which cannot walk, they have this process of photosynthesis, that the food is getting created by themselves just because of the sunlight and and carbon dioxide. And then these plants and trees, they release oxygen. We release carbon dioxide, but they release oxygen. So such wonderful creation where human body is getting what they want from plants and trees and plants are getting what they want from human body. So when we look into the creation properly, when we see our body, how it is designed, we have several body functions. We have our heart, we have kidneys, we have liver, we have intestines, we have a brain, and everything is functioning so wonderfully. So when we think of all these things, we realize that, Krishna is present, and Krishna is such wonderful, personality, that he creates in such a manner that everything is arranged. But it is only when we start, misusing things, we fall into the trouble. And that happens when we are running behind the lusty desires, when we want more than what is required. So if we make our life simple and we really want to fall in love with Krishna, then the things are going to be very, very wonderful. And like yesterday also, Rath Yatra Prabhuji was mentioning in his class, that is the peace formula. If we water the roots, then the entire plant is going to be beneficial. We are trying so many things, but we are not happy. And here we see Arjuna is becoming unhappy when Krishna is leaving, Arjuna is going. So we can imagine, how much it affects us when Krishna is with us and when Krishna is leaving, you know. So that's the point, because and entire Srimad Bhagavatam is like that, wherein we can always judge ourselves. We can understand our spiritual level, because we are practitioners of Krishna consciousness. So it is important that we always keep checking our level, that our level is going up or it is going down. And these are the factors which will help us determine that whether my level is going up or down. So if we are not in love with Krishna, and if we don't think about Krishna all the time, then we cannot say that we are Krishna conscious devotees. We can say that we are only namesake devotees, but yes, we are progressing and we are in the process, and the process might go very lengthy. Sometimes it can go for years together, sometimes it can go for janmas together. But Prabhupada says that if we surrender to Krishna, then it can be a 1 second job, wherein we can realize Krishna and we can understand Krishna. So we'll move a little ahead in the purport. The Prabhupada is further explaining about Swamsha and Vibhinamsha, which we just mentioned. And then what is saying, this is thoroughly explained in the Bhagavad Gita, which is about the, Krishna being the source of all the creation. Prabhupada says they are all interlinked with one another or independent factors. Thus, in the ultimate issue, the Lord is the summum bonum and therefore the vital principles of everything. See, we at times we have so many other things we are dependent upon. We are depending upon our friends, our relatives, and family, and so many other things. But if we carefully analyze, you will see that everybody is functioning for their own benefit. Relatives come to us because they would definitely want to benefit something from us. If we do not show much, if we don't show that those signals that we are not going to be of benefit of you, or if we do not have money, then the same relatives come to us only just to make some comments, pass some comments on us, and make a mockery of us. But if we are well to do, then the same people will come and they try to glorify us, they want to sit with us, and they want to benefit something out of us. So that's the thing. But if we want to fall in love with Krishna, then we have to change our priorities, and that is why it is recommended that we read the scriptures, we read shastras thoroughly, so that we fall in love with Krishna. Because if we don't know Krishna, then how can we fall in love with Krishna? So that is a very important point, that we have to read the glories of the Lord. And when we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in the morning, so that way we are, learning, getting to know about so many devotees, and then we can understand. Okay, this is what happens when a devotee, is in love with Krishna, and this is how Krishna takes control of, their life. We have so many examples of the devotees who are madly in love with Krishna. We have the example of Mirabai. We have the example of gopis in Vrindavan. We have the example of Gopa boys who were Krishna's cowherd friends. They were in deep love with Krishna and had full trust in Krishna. We have Srimati Radharani, the ultimate. And then we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who comes in the form of, who comes as the Yugal avatar of Radha and Krishna, just to relish the joy of, being a devotee. So many times when we get these things very easily, we may not understand the importance of it. I was reading a book yesterday in Govardhan. In the book, it is mentioned that becoming human, it is so rare, and once we become human, taking birth in India is all the more rare, rarest of rare combination. So it is not by chance that we have taken birth in India. We would have done some pious activities in the past, and because of that, some devotional activities, and by the mercy of some devotee, we have come into Krishna consciousness. And the mantra which we are chanting, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is not an ordinary mantra. It is coming directly from the Goloka, and that is why it has got impact. But if we take things for granted, thinking that okay, fine, it is fine, I can chant, or it is just chanting Hare Krishna, like many people are following so many things, I am also following, then it is not the right, understanding. We are missing out something. We are getting cheated by Maya, and we see that in the present situation, the Mahakumbh is going on, and in the Mahakumbh you see every day new news are coming. People are going to Mahakumbh, and they are finding some Baba who has done his IIT, and then he is becoming famous, and then after some time they are criticizing him. And then you see another actress, one old film Indian actress. She became some sannyasini, and all stupid things are going on. And everybody, all of these people are missing such basic points. Prabhupada's philosophy is such simple. It is mentioned in the scriptures also. Nobody is talking about chanting the holy name of the Lord. They're all trying to, do some show so that they become popular. Even after, practicing the life of mendicants, still that desire is there to become popular. But they're not preaching Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Eva Kevalam, Kalav Nasti Ev Gatiranyatha. They're not talking about that. They're not talking about Bhagavad Gita. It is very unfortunate that people become so many big sadhus, babas, but they don't give the preachings of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Then it is very unfortunate, and that is where the ISKCON movement gains momentum, where the entire life cycle is about preaching, and Krishna is also stressing on preaching. And yesterday also we were hearing in Srimad Bhagavatam class that when we make somebody chant Hare Krishna, then we get benefited out of it, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu becomes so happy seeing the efforts of a devotee. And Krishna also says that those who preach my glories are dearest to me. And when we are preaching, when we are taking classes, or when we are doing satsang, it is not that the people who are coming to our classes, they are benefiting. They might benefit a little, but most of the benefit is coming to us. When we are preparing our classes, when we are giving the references to shlokas, and then when we are also sitting and reading, Hare, this one I did not understand so clearly here. Krishna has mentioned, I've been talking about this, but you see, this is the thing I got to know. And Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj also says that when you are reading Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 100 times, every time you'll find something new. And that's the message, that's the single signal which indicates that this is a transcendental knowledge, and it is not that which is coming from somewhere in some creation somebody has written. It is not that. It is transcendental, and the proof is that whenever we read Bhagavad Gita, we find something new, something attractive, something which is very, very clear, which is making a remark to us. So that way, when we are chanting the glories of the Lord, and keeping ourselves in the close association of the devotees, and following the instructions of Guru, and having darshan in the temple, attending all these festivals, then we are going to be in the right mood. Otherwise, Maya has got a lot of agent. Maya can trick us through mobile. Maya can trick us through people who are into the prajalpa, worldly talks. Maya can trick us when we are going to office. We interact with so many people, and Maya can trick us in the form of different food stuff which we can consume if it is not offered. So there are different, multiple agents of Maya which are there, but a devotee's life is to be followed in a very, very, very careful manner, where devotee is careful about their eating, their thinking. Most important thing is thinking. They might say a lot of things, but inside the mind, whatever they are thinking, that is what they are going to do in the days to come. So we have to check our thinking process immediately when we are thinking something wrong about a devotee, or when we are thinking about some lusty desires. Then we should immediately stop that, and we should either pick up a book of Srila Prabhupada, start reading, or chant, because that is in our control. We can't say that, oh, I'm not able to pick the book of Srila Prabhupada, right? We can always pick a book of Srila Prabhupada. Keep the books so handy that it is there, in your sight all the time. It is said, out of sight is out of mind. So they don't keep the books somewhere hidden in a cupboard which you never open. Keep it right in front of the table. Couple of books. You can keep some in the kitchen shelf. You can keep some in the some near your altar. You can keep some in your almirah. You can keep some books in your office. You can definitely keep a lot of books in your car. So every time, keep these books handy, so that whenever you are feeling down, or whenever you're feeling that, my mind is tricking, immediately pick up a book and read one page, or call a devotee and talk to them. So it is in our control. And as an intelligent person, we need to understand that after, in previous lifetimes, we have done so many, sense gratification. This life also, we have done a lot of sense gratification. One thing is simple, that this sense gratification has never given us joy. it has only given us more and more anxieties, more and more trouble. We can look into our own examples. There is nothing, which we need to read from the books and understand. It's a very simple, clear-cut example that when we are into sense gratification, it is only going to make us more dry and put us in more trouble. But the moment we move towards Krishna, the things become blissful. So just for this one thing, to make our own life successful and blissful, we should stay away from sense gratification and utilize everything for the service of the Lord. That is how we can say that yes, we are in love with Krishna and we miss you, Krishna. So when we say Krishna, we miss you, Krishna, then Krishna definitely says, yes, I miss you too. When we say Krishna, I love you, Krishna, then Krishna is the one who says, yes, I love you too. And when he says I love you too, it means a lot. It means a lot. It is not a fake love which people show, because we have not experienced true love, so we don't know what true love is. But just once, if we turn towards Krishna, chanting the glories of the holy name and telling Krishna that yes, my dear Lord, requesting Radharani, requesting Guru Parampara, that yes, I'm in love with Krishna and I want to be in love with Krishna, because I have realized there is no one which is dearer to a living being, other than Krishna. So with this, I will stop here, wishing that everybody, gets more and more joy and love of Krishna, and your, Krishna consciousness becomes more blissful and fruitful for other devotees as well. So I'll stop here. If I have committed any mistakes, so please do forgive me. If you have any points, you can add your points for the shloka. If you have any questions also, you can ask the questions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patita Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.